Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Joanna and I am a Kimbanguism Christian. So this is our first video into the topic of Kimbanguism. I'm very excited. I am so excited to the point that I really can't wait to just dig into all this information that I am about to share with you guys. I strongly believe that this information is valuable and it's the type of information that cannot just be kept to myself, so I will gladly share with you guys today the Kimbanguism. What is the Kimbanguism and who started it, who initiated this movement? Because we all know that before the Kimbanguism became a church, it started as a movement. So we will be going into all of that, and also we will be introducing Simon Kimbangu, the founder and the person behind this amazing, extraordinary religion. So let's hop into this video. The first one is, what is Kimbanguism? Kimbanguism is an African-initiated church born in the 1920s from the preachings and healings conducted by Simon Kimbangu, a Congolese Baptist catechist. Kimbanguism has cultivated a theology of Black liberation by offering a unique or new understanding of the Bible. The Kimbanguism was launched by Simon Kimbangu, a Baptist catechist belonging to the Singombe ethnic group. He was born in the village of Kamba, near Matadi, in the southwestern part of the Belgian Congo, now known as the Democratic Republic of the Congo. So back in that time, it was known as, when Congo was colonized, it was known as Belgian Congo. But today it is known as the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Papa Simon Kimbangu was born on Wednesday, 12th of September 1887. He was the only child of Papa Kuyela and Mama Louise. Papa Simon Kimbangu was educated at the Baptist mission of Ngombe Lutete after marrying his wife, Mama Marie Mwilu, and fathering 3 sons. Firstborn was Charles Kisolokele, born on the 12th of February 1914. The second-born, Paul Salomo Dialungana, born on the 25th of May 1916. And his last-born, Diangenda Kunzima, born on the 22nd of March 1980. Papa Simon Kimbangu became a catechist in the year 1918. He evangelized several villages under the title of catechist. The year 1918, Papa Simon Kimbangu heard the voice of Jesus Christ, ordering him to convert his compatriots and start his mission. But he felt unequal to the task and resisted his call, and everything thereafter systematically failed for him. So, Papa Simon Kimbangu, resisting the call that Jesus Christ was giving him, or resisting the mission, he then decided to go into the city to seek work. So Papa Simon Kimbangu felt unequal to the task. Being in this human body, we all know that it is not easy to take up such a huge mission to get people to understand or people to listen to you. So for him, he saw his mission. He already saw what was lying before him, and that also made him feel like anxious, I could say. So that was the reason why Papa Simon Kimbangu resisted. Papa Simon Kimbangu went to Leopoldville, which is now known as Kinshasa, to labor as a factory worker in the Belgian Congo oil works. So Papa Simon Kimbangu left Kamba and went to the city to go and look for work. That was all part of him just resisting the call, seeing himself not being ready. So like we said, so Papa Simon Kimbangu would hear Jesus Christ's voice calling unto him and telling him that it is time for him to convert his compatriots. So it is time for him to take up his mission and to do the work according to how they planned it, or it is time for him to take up his work to go into his mission. And because Papa Simon Kimbangu was in this body, and we know the human body, like it's a big responsibility, having to stand in front of people, having to speak, give people hope. It's not an easy task, it's not an easy thing. So that also led to Papa Simo Kimbangu feeling unequal, but he knew his mission and he knew what was his reason for being here on earth. So yeah, I just wanted to make like a small brief just to explain that a little bit, for those who didn't, for those who maybe got a little bit confused. So Papa Simo Kimbangu started working in this factory, in this oil factory. So every time when it came to payday, he never received his due. The European man who was in charge of handing him his due, which never exceeded 20 francs, never gave him anything, arguing that Papa Simo Kimbangu had already been paid and he could prove it through his payroll sheet, because Papa Simo Kimbangu's signature was on the sheets. So for exactly 3 months of working in this factory, Papa Simo Kimbangu never got his salary. He never got. This occurred 3 times in a row. And Papa Simo Kimbangu heard Christ's voice calling out to him again, telling or explaining to him that whatever he was experiencing was linked to the fact that he was refusing or resisting the call. So whatever was happening to him was linked to him refusing the call. Papa Simo Kimbangu made the decision to leave this job and go back to his family in Kamba. His colleagues felt pity on him and gave him financial help to compensate for the 3 months that he spent working without salary. After Papa Simo Kimbangu not being paid for 3 consecutive months, his friend felt pity on him, his colleagues, felt pity on him, and they all 3 gathered money together to give to Papa Simo Kimbangu so that he can return back to his village in Kamba. Papa Simo Kimbangu then decided to head back to Kamba after this misfortune experience that he experienced working in the Belgian oil factory. So Papa Simo Kimbangu decided to sell chikwanga. Chikwanga are loaves made of manioko. It's an African dish. So Papa Simo Kimbangu tried selling chikwanga, but he failed. He never made any profit. People were not interested in supporting his merchandise. People were not interested in buying his merchandise. So that also failed. So a desperate Kimbangu decided to go back to Kamba. Eventually, a desperate Kimbangu went back to Kamba by foot. With the little money he had, he decided to buy eels. Eels is an African dry fish. It's an African dry fish. Papa Simo Kimbangu decided to buy this eel for his family's supper on his way home. And on his way home, Papa Simo Kimbangu was stopped by the colonial officer. So Papa Simo Kimbangu was stopped by a colonial officer. This officer's name was Fufu. Within the Kimbanguism religion, this guy is very famous. We all know him as Mbuta Fufu. He's the guy who confiscated Papa Simo Kimbangu's eel. He seized the eels before letting Papa Simo Kimbangu resume his journey to Kamba. Kimbangu finally returned to Kamba to farm his land, but the call was persistent. Jesus Christ kept appearing. He kept hearing Jesus Christ's voice, ordering him to start his mission. Simo Kimbangu kept resisting. Papa Simo Kimbangu's resistance to the call lasted until 1921. So the call started in 1918 and lasted up until 1921. It was in 1921 when he initiated his spiritual revival movement among the Congolese people. On the 6th of April 1921, Papa Simo Kimbangu requested to his wife Marie Mwelu to ring the bell at exactly 6 a.m. After the morning worship, Papa Simo Kimbangu and his 7-year-old son, Papa Shalki Solokile, took the road to Nayona, a close-by village where a market was taking place. On the road to the market, facing Kamba and on top of the hill, was a village called Ngombe Kinsuka. There, a young woman called Mama Kantondo had been suffering a severe headache. So this all happened on the 6th of April. Something big happened. We're going to get into it in a few minutes. So just to recap. So this all happened on the 6th of April, 1921, where Papa Simon Kimbangu ordered his wife, Mama Marie Muilu, to ring the first bell, which was rang exactly at 6 a.m. in the morning. So on that same day, after the morning prayer, after the morning worship, morning prayers, Papa Simon Kimbangu took his 7-year-old son, Papa Shalki Solokele, and they went off to a village close to them, and a market was taking place at that time. So Papa Simon Kimbangu went into that village, and now we're going to find out what exactly happened when Papa Simon Kimbangu went into that village with his 7-year-old son, Papa Kisholokele. As Papa Simon Kimbangu stepped into the village, he saw Mama Kiantondo severely sick with a massive headache. I don't know what we can call it. Migraine. I feel like migraine is too underrated. It was a severe headache, the type of headache that could have killed her, and most of her family members were also already just waiting for her to take her last breath, because this headache lasted so long, and so many people tried helping this young woman, but it was just unsuccessful. So when Papa Simon Kimbangu walked into that street, this is exactly what happened. Papa Simon Kimbangu then stepped into this young woman's cabin and ordered everyone else except her husband and relatives to leave the room. On his knees, he made a short prayer, and taking the young woman by her hand and said, "Kiantondo, in the name of Jesus of Nazareth, be healed and rise." And immediately Mama Kiantondo was healed and she rose. By surprise, everyone was applauding. Everyone was happy. Her family was happy. Her husband was happy, and in shock. People were shocked. They were like, wow, this man healed Mama Kiantondo. And the news spread all over Kamba. People heard of Mama Kiantondo's healings conducted by Papa Simon Kimbangu. As the news of the healing of Mama Kiantondo spread all over the village of Kamba, villagers started consulting Papa Simon Kimbangu for all sorts of illnesses and handicaps. The blind recovered sight, the paralyzed could walk, the deaf could hear, and the muted could speak. All of this happened when the news of Papa Simon Kimbangu spread around the village of Kamba. And let's bear in mind, this was the time of the colonial. So Congo was colonized. And this good news spread around the villages. So people started hearing of the miracles and hearing of the healings that was being conducted by Papa Simon Kimbangu. The first successful resurrection, which is very famous in the history of Kimbanguism, was of Mama Dina, a 15-year-old girl whose corpse had already begun to decompose. She'd been dead for exactly 3 days. This is how long it took for her funeral procession to march from her birthplace, the village of Tumpa, to Kamba. It took exactly 3 days, so her body was already beginning to decompose. Imagine that. When this young woman's corpse arrived to Kamba, Papa Simon Kimbangu saw her family coming towards him. And when it finally arrived, Papa Simon Kimbangu asked her parents what it is that they wanted from him. And her parents answered, the father of this young lady answered. He said, "If we didn't want our daughter to be resurrected, we would not be here." So the father or the parents of this young girl's faith was so strong. After hearing all this wonderful news of Papa Simon Kimbangu conducting these sorts of healings, their faith was so strong that they walked all the way from their village to Kamba, which took them 3 days. Their daughter's body was already rotting. It was already decomposing, but they didn't stop believing. They said, we have to get to Kamba. We have to see this man called Papa Simo Kimbangu, and he will rise our daughter. So their faith was so strong. And this type of faith in the Kimbanguism church is really regarded as a very strong faith. Within this church, it's all about faith, having faith in God and believing that God can answer your prayers, or that God is able to act according to your favor. So it's all about faith. So Papa Simo Kimbangu asked this young girl's parents, and then he answered saying that they were there so that Papa Simo Kimbangu can resurrect their daughter. After the young girl's parents' answer, Papa Simo Kimbangu then begged the Lord to resurrect this young woman. Then, holding the hand of the dead woman, he then cried out, "Dina, in the name of Jesus Christ, resurrect." Dina then opened her eyes and rose immediately. And there was an outburst of joy. Papa Simo Kimbangu resurrected this 15-year-old girl called Dina, whose corpse has been started decomposing. She had been dead for exactly 3. After Dina's resurrection, crowds of people, not all of them Christians, came from the southern parts of the Belgian Congo, the northern parts of Angola, and the southern parts of the French Congo of Kamba, both to get healing and hear Kimbangu preach. So people came from all over Congo, Angola, Congo, Kinshasa, Congo, Brazzaville. They all came to get healings from Kimbangu and also listen to him preach. So exactly this is how the movement began. So at that time, Papa Simo Kimbangu had no intentions of starting a church, okay? Papa Simo Kimbangu had no intentions of starting a church, even though people were leaving Kamba, leaving their villages, leaving their churches to come and listen to these new preachings that Papa Simo Kimbangu was giving. So it was a new preachings that they were not getting from their churches, or they were not hearing from their churches. Papa Simo Kimbangu started preaching to these people, giving them hope and preaching the new gospel to them that they were not hearing from their churches. But Papa Simo Kimbangu was not intending to start a church at that time. So Papa Simo Kimbangu, while he was preaching to these people, giving them the new gospel, he still asked these people not to leave their home churches, because Papa Simo Kimbangu did not have the intention to start a church at that very moment. It took time. And we are going deeper to find out how this was formed. Okay, so Papa Simo Kimbangu continued healing, continued giving hope, continued giving hope to these people that were coming from all over, and healing them and giving solutions to their problems. Papa Simo Kimbangu saw this job, his mission really became so big because he had thousands and thousands of people coming to him seeking healing. Papa Simo Kimbangu chose priestly collaborators to help him in his new mission. Amongst them were 2 women. One famous one, or known, was Michaela, Mama Mikala. She's known as Mama Mikala Mandombe, whom Papa Simo Kimbangu chose, who was only 12 when she was first selected. Like him, these aides healed the sick people with all kinds of handicaps in the name of Jesus. In the next video, we will be continuing this amazing story of how the Kimbanguism movement began. We will be continuing this in the next video, where we will be going deeper, like we will really be digging deeper into the story. what happened after this. And as we all know, the news spread, it really spread all over Kamba. As I mentioned earlier on, Congo was colonized. All of this happened during the colonial time. So Papa Simo Kimbangu conducting all these healings and having his word spread all around the village and also all around the country. A lot of things happened, guys. A lot of things happened, and we will be finding out all of this within the next video. Thank you so much for tuning into the first part of the series of Kimbanguism. We will be going into the second video. So thank you so much, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share this video with anyone who will find this information useful. I will be seeing you guys in the next video.